Hello students, you are watching PRS Biology. Today I am going to discuss with the overview on the plant pathology. This lecture include the definition of the plant pathology, what is plant pathology, a history of plant pathology or an overview on plant pathology, about the plant diseases, classification of diseases, and some important terminology. So now move on to the main lecture. So first of all, what is plant pathology? The word pathology has been derived from two Greek words, that is pathos means suffering and logos means study. Thus, the plant pathology is the study of the living entities and the environmental conditions that cause disease in plants. So the plant pathology covers the all aspects that will cause a disease in plants. It also includes the mechanisms by which these factors produce disease in plants, and also the interaction between the pathogens and the disease plants. The plant pathology also include the methods of controlling a disease either before or after it develops in a plant. The plant pathologists are those scientists who study disease caused by the fungi, bacteria, parasitic angiosperms, viruses, and nematodes. The subject of plant pathology may call upon basic techniques and knowledge of botany, mycology, bacteriology, virology, nematology, plant anatomy, plant physiology, genetics, biochemistry, horticulture, soil science, forestry, chemistry, physics, meteorology, and many other branches of science. The main purpose of plant pathology is to develop control measures for all plant diseases. The practical goal of plant pathology is to save the produce which could be used for billions of the people of this overpopulated globe. Now we move on to the history of plant pathology. So the earliest known writings refers to many important facts about the plant diseases. According to Seward 1931, from the Devonian period onward and even from a more remote age, there were the parasitic and saprophytic fungi. So it can be safely said that plant diseases long preceded man on earth, and when agriculture was developed, the diseases ravaged the crops. So, according to Seward, the existence of disease causing agents such as parasitic and saprophytic fungi exist from the Devonian period. In ancient religious literature of our country, such as Rig Veda, Puran, Vishnu Puran, Agni Puran, etc., also discussed about many things about the plant diseases. Theophrastus, known as the father of botany, wrote about 227 treatises remedies in his famous book Historia Plantarum. The first discovery of plant disease or the etiology of a viral disease of plants was the transmission of tobacco mosaic virus by Adolf Meyer in 1886. In 1880, Meyer began work on a serious tobacco disease which he named as tobacco mosaic virus. So the earliest observations on plant diseases was put forwarded by Theophrastus, and till date there are several publications, several discoveries, and till date there are many research ongoing in this sector. Now we move to the plant disease. First of all, what is disease? According to Diamond 1959, disease is a malfunctioning process that is caused by continuous irritation. Of course, this process must result in some suffering, and hence disease is a pathological process. So, in other words, we can say disease is a complex phenomenon and is an interaction among the host, the parasite, and the environment. It can also be defined as a disturbance in the equilibrium of a host in respect of structure or physiology or both, which may lead to the death of entire host. Now we move to the most important part of the plant pathology, that is the classification of plant diseases. The plant diseases may be classified in several ways. They may be classified according to their causal agents, such as disease incited by the myxomycetes, oomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, and deuteromycetes. As we know that the plant diseases maximum caused by the fungus. Sometimes the diseases are also grouped according to the host plants, such as cereal diseases, diseases of legumes and pulses, diseases of vegetables, diseases of cash crops, diseases of fruits, etc. But mainly the plant disease can be classified into three groups. The first one is that the endemic disease. The endemic disease is more or less constantly present from year to year in a moderate to severe form in a particular area. In such cases, the pathogen or virus is well established and survives from one crop season to next in soil. It also implied here that environmental conditions remain favorable for the development of that particular inoculum. The most common example of an endemic disease are flax smut of wheat in Punjab plain, onion smut, cabbage yellows, club root of cabbage, etc. The second one is the epidemic or epiphytotic disease. The disease which commonly occurs widely but periodically is termed as epidemic. The term epidemic has been derived from a Greek word meaning among the people, and in the strict sense applies to diseases of men. One of the most common example of epidemic disease is the late blight of potato. Epiphytic diseases occur where the environmental conditions are favorable but the pathogen occurs irregularly. The third one is the sporadic disease. When the epiphytotic occur at very irregular intervals and location and in relatively few instances, it could be termed as sporadic disease. However, a particular disease may be endemic in one region and epidemic in another. Again, based on the causal agent, plant disease are of three types. The first one is non-parasitic plant diseases. These including the diseases incited by the excesses of mineral and also the deficiency of minerals. Low temperatures, high temperatures, unfavorable oxygen relations, unfavorable soil condition, etc. The second one is the parasitic plant diseases. So in parasitic plant diseases, it can be again divided into two types, that is the plant diseases incited by the animal parasites, which includes nematodes, protozoa, birds, rodents and other animals. The other one is the disease incited by the plant parasites, which again include the bacteria, fungi, and here we already know that all fungal classes included in the plant disease. So myxomycetes, oomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes and deuteromycetes fungus are involved in the plant parasitic diseases. The third one is the third plant disease parasite are also including the algae, but the rate of infection caused by the algae is relatively low. The third most important one is the viral disease, and we already know the first viral disease was the tobacco mosaic virus. There are certain important terminology regarding the study of plant pathology. First of all, what is pathogenesis? So pathogenesis is the process or chain of events whereby disease development takes place. So pathogenesis includes the series of events during disease development. The most important one is the symptoms. So what are the symptoms? The progression of external evidences of disturbance of the morphological and physiological processes of the host plant are referred as the symptoms. So symptoms are the primary signs that can be observed in a diseased plant. It may be morphological or physiological. The third one is the disease cycle. So the disease cycle can be referred to the chain of events in the disease development. When a pathogen is involved, the disease cycle is associated with the organism. It is the distinct from the life cycle of the organism. So disease cycle and life cycle of a particular organism is quite different, because the disease cycle only illustrates the development of a disease, how it penetrates, how it multiplies, and how it affects the host plant body. Now, what is susceptibility? So susceptibility is the lacking of inherent ability to resist disease or attack by a pathogen, that is non-immune. Inoculum refers to the source of infection. It may be bacterial, it may be viral, it may be fungal, and it may be caused by the mycoplasma. So, and it also the different strain of bacteria and fungus, etc. The pathogen is mainly refers to the disease causing agent, and it may be different of types. Thank you so much.